commies.
That'd be hilarious, right? They're in Washington D.C. and they're the commies.
For several reasons, they're not called the commies.
That would be hysterical. Their mascot is just a dude in fucking what's that dude's name? God.
Which one are you thinking of? Are you thinking
Karl
of
Marx?
Yeah, there's a few correct answers here.
That's the
Yeah.
mascot. Just a dude in a Karl Marx, like a big Karl Marx head.
We're probably not that far away from something like that.
Just honestly, just keep the same mascot. Just have him carry a hammer and a sickle, and then you're set.
Well, wait. Nothing. It can't be worse than what their actual mascot is right now. Was it General Pork?
They have a mascot.
Wait.
My bad.
What?
My bad.
Oh
it's
my
Major
god.
Tuddy.
yeah, the bar is pretty low here.
That's crazy. Major Tuddy.
Major Tuddy.
Okay.
Thank you, Wikipedia, for telling me that Tuddy is a slang term derived from the abbreviation of touchdown. I needed to know that.
I wouldn't have guessed.
I don't know. Like, I don't think any team in DC, I don't think none of them have a good mascot.
Like, I need to think about that for a second.
You know what the Capitals one is? Because I think it's just an eagle.
I genuinely couldn't tell you.
Then you have the Wizards, which I think for a multitude of reasons they don't have one.
It's Grover. Their mascot looks like Grover from the Muppets.
Are you talking? When are we talking about the?
I'm talking about the Wizards. I'm talking about the Wizards.
Okay, thank you, Microsoft Bing. What the fuck is that?
It's Grover. Look at it. It's fucking Grover.
Oh,
what the fuck is that? That's an old picture. This is what he looks like now.
That's just G-Wiz, bro. That's just G-Wiz.
Yeah. I understand you're the Wizards and everything. Get rid of the hat.
Tell you, man, this Grover. They just had to change him slightly so he wasn't Grover.
You look at Philly and Washington D.C. Two cities that are close to each other. Both have a lot of sports teams. Philly's mascot's easily clear, like not even close.
Yeah.
Like you have the Philly Fanatic, which is synonymous with mascots. Then you have whatever the fuck Gritty is, which anybody
hit the Gritty.
Gritty has hit the Gritty multiple times.
Good.
Oh my
Good.
God.
This is necessary.
Hey, this is not your time right now. Later, okay?
I'm really glad to be from a city where the mascots are basically as simple as they possibly can be.
Yeah, I mean, we just have the Grizzly because Memphis. So, and I guess up here, and I guess now I'm in Minneapolis. We have the Timberwolf. So it's a wolf.
You have the Viking and the Twins.
Yeah. Like I said, Memphis just has the Grizzly, which I do like Grizz. I think Grizz is a cool mascot.
Yeah. Yeah, not a bad mascot in everything. Hey, no. No, you can be on my desk later. Not right now. All right. Really?
Listen, Zay just wants to be on camera, okay? Listen.
Fine. Gonna hold her the entire time until she wants to put down. But I think 4 minutes of recording is more than enough time to get this show started. So everyone, welcome back to this episode of For the Love of Prod, our 45th episode. As always, I'm joined by Huntertain and Megalass, and our guest this week is ShadowFang, or ShadowFang2. But we just know you as Shadow.
Yeah, pretty much. That's me. Hello.
Hey, thank you so much for coming on, man.
I mean, yeah, I appreciate the offer. You know what I mean? I just got the message yesterday. Figured, hey, why not? Let's see what this is about.
Yeah, it was Mega who reached out to you, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I reached out to like a couple people, and I just got Dono walled where no one responded to me, which sad. And then I asked them to say, "Hey, please find someone. I'm begging you."
No. Honestly, Dex, call out the people who don't know you by name. Go ahead.
No.
Yeah, honestly though, honestly.
No, I want to have them on the podcast at some point. I don't want to fucking
it'd
sour
be really
the
funny. It'd be really funny. Let's cause problems.
I don't know.
Give us their socials,
what
home address.
What the fuck?
Like social media, not their. What did you think I meant?
Security number? I don't want what their social is. I want the login to their Twitter account so I can tweet for them.
Mega, you barely tweet yourself. Why would you tweet for someone else?
True.
Okay, because here's the issue. I want to tweet more, but the issue is I tweet unhinged shit, and so I save the world by not tweeting.
I mean, you have 2 accounts for that. Actually, no, you probably have more accounts for that reason, but you have 2 that I know of.
No, I only have 2 because I got in a lot of trouble because a lot of people thought I had a 3rd account. We did this already. Tee-hee. Shut up, Power Rising.
Wow.
Hey, I'm letting you sit on my lap. Don't go after the pencil.
Think she's gonna go after the pencil?
Yeah, that's pretty understandable. Did you get cut?
Her nail or her claw got stuck in the little space between your nail and your skin on the side, and it just wouldn't let go.
Yeah, you know there's a term for that actually.
It's not a hangnail. What is it?
No, for the little gap between there.
Welcome
There's
back.
a term for it.
Welcome back to For the Love of Prod. Hunter's gonna teach us something about human anatomy.
I'm all for it. I didn't know this. I did not know these words.
You see, Dex, you really built this up. This was meant to be like my father's style of joke, where he says, "Yeah, you know about that thing." I'm like, "No, do you?" "Nope, I don't either." It was supposed to be that style of joke, but you made it very serious. Now the joke is dead. But I'm gonna look it up anyway.
Welcome back, everyone. Again, Hunter has let us down for the umpteenth time. We're actually getting into the show now, Hunter. I'm just gonna mute you until we get going here. You
can silence me, but you can't silence the truth.
It's changed from workplace Yowie to toxic Yowie.
Dear God, don't bring that up. Fuck. No, just to quickly get back in, just touch on that. Ever since that came out, anytime I say to my parents, if I'm casting, the first thing out of my mom's mouth is it with Hunter? Classic, I fucking hate. God damn, I hate that my mic decided to die for some reason last week. Because if it doesn't, guess what? That never happens. I don't make that the short. We don't talk about fucking Yowie.
True.
Okay. Let's actually get into the podcast now. We're 8 minutes in. We've talked about mascots, human anatomy, and Yowie. Esports, y'all.
I'd say we're getting a nice wide variety of topics.
Yeah. Do you want the name of that thing, by the way?
Sure, go ahead.
Before we move on, it is called hyponochium, is what it is called. So
what's the layman terms for it?
That is the layman term.
That's too long for a layman's term.
So the other one it wants me to do, which is probably the more well-known version of what this is the cuticle.
I was gonna say that's the white space on your nail, the cuticle. That white space like back at the back.
Correct.
Hunter, I hate what I just looked back at the Discord. I hate what the fuck you posted.
Listen, bro, you're gonna be spending $10 tomorrow, I guess, buddy.
I am not gonna be spending money on that fucking shit.
You're not buying the 6-7 emote?
Yeah,
I'm buying the 6-7 emote. What do you mean?
Yeah.
No, he's Soldier 76, not Soldier 67. Come on now.
No, but look, there's an emote. See,
I want to fucking kill myself.
Oh my god! Is this the point where it's become lame? Like when does the meme become lame? Like when does it get that far?
2 days after it happened.
For me, it's like when my mom tells me about it, then I'm like, oh, it's gone too far now. We can't do this anymore.
Oh yeah, no, my mom, she works for the school district, so she's been making that joke since day one. So it's not been fun.
My parents haven't made that joke yet, but there's so many different other reasons why they haven't been focusing on current social media, other than the fact they aren't on it.
Good
Okay,
Lord.
let's try this again. 10 minutes into the podcast, let's actually get started with talking about esports. Damn
I
it.
thought we were.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I did not know how this episode was gonna go. I see where it's going.
No.
No. Here, we're gonna put the wheels back on this train, okay?
Yeah,
so
exactly. Here, wait. No, before, because Meg, I think you're gonna lead straight into the two questions. I actually want to give Shadow the opportunity here to introduce himself. But Shadow, basically with this, just say what roles you normally cover and what games you normally cover as well.
Okay, yeah. Hey, I'm Shadow. I'm usually a color commentator, but I've done some play-by-play as well here and there. And I mostly do Overwatch, but I have done some Rivals as well here and there. I could potentially get into some more games, but I only like to talk about things that like I really, really know about. Otherwise, I don't really like to get into them too much. So for the time being, it's pretty much just Overwatch and Rivals, I'd say.
I'm kind of with you. Comes to that, like, I only want to cast games I kind of normally enjoy, or that's why I haven't really ventured far into Valorant or something like Rivals, because, well, honestly, I probably should try Rivals again. I haven't tried it since January, when it was in probably its worst state of actually like being a functional video game.
Oh, it's still there.
Oh, it's still awful?
Yeah.
It's been out for a fucking year and it's still shit? Okay,
Yeah, no, the visual clutter on that screen, you'll actually cry. It's great.
Yeah.
Hey, if one thing that the OWCS Grand Finals gave us, they gave us on Nepal peak 2016 over visual clutter, when you had both Kitsune rushes, both orbital rays on point, and I think a terror surge and something else all going on.
I think there was a sim wall in there somewhere.
Man, I still say the worst of it was during Malgameta, where they had the cages going off simultaneously with the blossoms and the orbital rays, all that going off at the same time. I'm just like, somebody's gonna get a stroke or something, or have a seizure. Like, it's gonna happen at some point, because this is just absurd.
Shout out to that one episode of Pokemon from 1998.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Pikachu killed a bunch of kids.
True.
Yeah, here, this is the photo I'm talking about.
Yeah, this one. Oh yeah, this one right here. Yeah,
that's a good one.
2 orbital rays, both Kitsune rushes. There's a sim TP in there. There's an annihilation in there. Apparently, there's a remake going on somewhere.
Anytime people tell me that they miss double shield, I just give them that picture of the shock on top of that plane on Gibraltar, and I'm just like, this is you miss this. You miss this.
And people
come on now.
And people will say it with a straight face, honest, and just say, yeah, I missed that.
Oh man. It was always a fun comp in theory, and then you actually played it, and you were like, nobody does the coordinating part with the Orisa pull. That's the fun part, and nobody does that.
God, I miss Orisa Orb.
God, major perk incoming, man. I'm just saying. Get rid of the hyper spear. That's all I'm saying.
No more kebabbing people. You either have you get your choice between old Orisa or old Orisa.
Exactly. No choice given.
The illusion of choice. All right. Okay.
All right.
Let's move on to the two normal questions we normally ask our guests. So Shadow, we normally ask our guests two questions, or one leads right into another, but we normally ask, what got you into esports, and more importantly, what got you into doing esports prod?
Okay, so this is actually a really easy question. Did it all happen? So, all right, it kind of all started when I got Overwatch as a game. I never really heard of like competitive esports like that. I didn't know what that was at the time. I started playing Overwatch like late 2019, and then leading into 2020, I started playing in like some little smaller leagues here and there, and I realized just how chaotic it is, where it's just like you'll play with a team for one season and then the whole team disbands. Everybody just goes off into their corners, does whatever they're gonna do. And I eventually found this team Shiva that I have played with very consistently. A lot of them don't really play anymore, but we started playing together early 2020. We joined CGL, I believe it was season 9 at the time because it was spring of 2020.
Mhm.
And it's honestly probably the most fun I've ever had playing video games, honestly, because we would scrim, and then after we scrimmed, we would continue playing until like 2 or 3 in the morning, just running comp. Just all 6 of us, just all together all the time. It was incredibly fun. Even if we lost, we weren't really too upset about it. And so that led into, like I said, us playing in CGL. We actually won CGL that year. And it was incredibly fun to see the casting side of it. I sometimes bring this up because Soav casted one of my games and he remembered it when I brought it up because we were so much of just a gooner team, running it down with a Reinhardt comp with a Moira Lucio rush. It was absurdly fun because you could do that at that time. And that eventually led into me just sending in an application and being like, hey, Headrammer, can I cast, basically? He did one of his announcements that he would do in CGL and just ask for casters, and I just submitted, and then he let me in, and I just tried it out a few times, and I just kind of really enjoyed it since then, and that's kind of where I've been since, since probably like 2021. I've been just in CGL casting here and there, doing some I did Tranquility a little bit. Uh, that's really about it, though. I haven't really ventured too far outside of the CGL confines.
Nothing wrong with that. I think there's a couple other casters as well who really don't venture much further out from CGL. Maybe like the furthest they'll go is BPL every now and then.
Mm.
But it's nice to have someone on who's also did Trank, because man, I miss it. SBCS is great. I miss Trank though.
What usually ends up happening is people will send me a DM, and I'm the type of person that I can't have notifications on my devices. So like I clear stuff as soon as I see it. So somebody will hit me up and ask me to do something, and I'll be like, yeah, okay, why not? I can do it. And that's just kind of how I ended up with the Tranquility server. Uh, But I only did maybe like 2 or 3 games for them. It was really well put together, though, from what I could tell.
Yeah, especially towards the end there, a lot of it was like, I don't want to give all the credit to Hippie, but I believe a lot of the production package was Hippie, for the most part. But like I said, I don't think it was all him. I think he still had people like Laggy and Unfeatured still doing or helping out a lot, or Laggy Son, I think that's what his actual name was. I should remember it, considering he's one of the reasons this podcast exists. But I mean, a lot of that package was Hippie, and it was always about trying to make the smoothest kind of performance you possibly could get. Which towards the end of Trank, you definitely did get that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm sorry. I thought someone was gonna say something. Sorry.
Bro said sorry to nothing. What the fuck?
I heard
There was no noise.
I'm going insane. I'm going insane.
That's crazy work.
God.
But no, like how you ended up in Trank is basically how I ended up in CGL. It was just, I think it was either Hippie or another producer at the time said, "Hey, are you available at 8 tonight?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." I just joined CGL. I was like, "Okay, sweet, never leaving." Funny how that's the case a lot of times.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up like the whole time I was growing up. I still do it now. Actually, when I'm watching games, I do commentary like that they should be doing. Like I'll mute the commentary and do it myself because I just think it's fun to do. so, so like I've always been at least semi interested in that. People like hearing me talk for some reason. I don't know what that's about. And then I'm so detail oriented as a person. I figured that the color side would be better. I don't really get super high, so it's like let's do the role where it isn't really required to be a hype man, if you will.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I started off primarily as a play-by-play, and have like, I feel like this year has been a big transition for me, doing more color, especially since I've done a lot with Hunter, and CGL, BPL has really also just put me into color roles a little bit more. And like it's fun not to be the hype man, which is the weirdest thing to say. You're the person who has to bring it back down to earth a little bit, but still, it's going to play by play every now and then. It's fun to get that like excitement out, but color just like so much more relaxed a little bit. Yeah, you have to make sure what you're saying is, or at least sounds somewhat realistic, but you're able just to relax a little bit.
I mean, it kind of reminds me like when I was playing on a team, I was a support player, so it kind of just reminds me of doing exactly what I did as a support player. I just sit there and I'm just like, yeah, I think this is gonna happen. I'm fairly certain this is gonna happen. It it makes my friends so mad when they're playing comp with me because we'll go into a fight and I'll be like, all right, so they're gonna do this, this, and this probably in this order. So just be ready for it. They don't have that ultimate, and then the ultimate goes off. I'm like, dude, I promise I know when it's available here. When you track it, you just get used to doing that so often. It's like second nature.
These two can attest a little bit from us on Shoe's production crew and CGL. Whenever I played, I would normally play support. I would basically need to be told when to use my ultimate just because I would be so passive and not wanting to fuck it up. But I think if you go back to last season, I think I have the most Ajaxes in Master Tier, or in Master Tier.
God,
Fire stat line.
Yeah, Lucio's a hard one, honestly. Like Lucio is ridiculously difficult. I got mad respect for people that do Lucio. I'll do it, but I'll be the guy who's 5% behind the other guy for the entire game, so we'll just lose based off of that.
You just need your team to peel for about 2 more seconds, and you'll have the beat late, and you'll win.
I'm like, guys, I promise I'm never gonna get a kill, but I'm also like never gonna do much of anything. So just just I'll exist really hard around you guys. Guys, that's as hard as I can exist. My cooldown's not back for 10 seconds.
But going back to it, especially with color casters being, they can still have hype moments. They can still at least keep the energy up. But I want to ask, I want to kind of bring this over to Mega here a little bit because Mega does both, but I feel like color is probably where she'll normally be. Like, how do you kind of deal with that? Because there are times where we definitely know that you might get mad at teams. How do you kind of deal with being like kind of the voice of almost reason, or trying to be the one that brings it back down to earth?
I mean, like especially for color commentary, when a team's blowing ass, like respectfully, it kind of depends on the circumstances in the situation, right? Because there's sometimes that you want to say stuff, and it also kind of depends on like the story you're trying to tell, right? Like if you went into this match being like, oh yeah, this one team should be infinitely better than this other team, then like, yeah, it's kind of okay to be like, yeah, this team's absolutely sucking right now. But really, I mean, this just goes for color commentary in general. Sometimes you just gotta like putting things in the nicest way possible. Even if you can't do that, then just breaking it down instead of putting player names or like anything on that. Just literally break down Overwatch as though you're explaining it to a child. And then from there, you can't really be rude because you're just like you're explaining core game concepts instead of critiquing the team that just absolutely fucking blew ass, used 5 ultimates, and did fuck all with it. And so it's just a nice little way to just break it down without hurting people's feelings when they watch the VOD back later. Of course, me and Spectrum will both tell you to just say fuck it, hurt their feelings. They shouldn't have sucked ass. It's on them.
That is true.
I forget. Did you inspect cast together this weekend?
No, I like casting with Spec. Like even though I don't like play-by-play as much, just because again, like we immediately the banter's on 10. Like like we join the VC, we join the lobby. It's like all right, time to talk shit on whichever team is sucking in this series. Chop chop.
I like casting with Spec for that exact same reason because I like to be funny. That's like my natural inclination is to try and be funny. So anybody who's ever casted a game that's a blowout with me, you'll notice I start making really awful jokes towards the other team because I don't know. I got to add something to this. Like, who's watching this and getting enjoyment out of this? I'm not. So we got to figure out some way to get enjoyment out here. And to me, it's like try and be funny, you know. So that's what I tend to go for.
Yeah. We talked about a lot on this podcast, especially other casters, where it's like the hardest thing to cast is a fucking 3-0 stomp because you don't want to be mean most of the time to the other team. But at some point, it just, you run out of like, you know, they had a good idea here. It just didn't work. Like, one thing I respect Mega and Spec for is the fact that they'll just blow right past that and say, yeah, no, they're just awful. Like, everything they're doing is bad. Like, go back to the drawing board. Hell, throw away the drawing board. Go back outside.
Okay, but also, like, listen, I don't know what it is, but, like, certain casters can get, like, me and Spec both get away with it to an insane degree, and people are never pissed. But, like, I feel as though if, like, if any of you three were to try to do this on the day, just randomly be like, yeah, this team's blowing ass in the same way, y'all would just get such insane shit for it, and I don't know what that happy medium is as to what determines who gets shit and who doesn't, but yeah, I feel like that's just another factor of just being like, sometimes people just are, you know, just ready for the banter.
They expect it from you. They don't expect it from us.
That's fair. That's valid.
Like that might literally just be it. Like, they know that you are gonna speak your mind and tell the truth no matter what. If we start doing that, it's like, what the fuck? When did they become assholes?
Yeah, it's like the perfect attendance guy showing up late for work one day. It's like, oh, what about fucking Steve? He's late every single day. Yeah, but Steve's a fuck up. Nobody cares.
Exactly.
Right.
Actually, speaking of Spectrum, shout out to him damn near fucking throwing away an entire series in Collegiate this weekend. Oh my god. If you haven't seen the clip on that, bro's team is up 3-0. His fucking Turbo TP starts trying to hammer kill a Lucio when they're 40 meters up on the 4th map, and then fucking next thing you know, it's 3-3, they're going to map 7. It's like, what the fuck happened to y'all?
Is British Collegiate Overwatch a real thing?
You know, honestly, that's a valid discussion. Spec, you probably didn't watch this far because you didn't hear enough about yourself, but it's not real. Your region sucks when it comes to Collegiate.
We've said Spec's name enough times in the last 5 minutes that he will just wake up, or he'll be awake when the podcast comes out, but he'll be like, I need to watch the podcast for some reason.
I'll get the tingle.
He senses a disturbance in the force.
His Isaac senses are popping off.
Crazy work.
Okay. We need to stop glazing Spec, or in that case, making fun of Spec.
Well, I was gonna say I was making fun of him. The fuck you mean, bro? Like, how the fuck are you 3-0 up with a 40-meter lead on the 4th map and you pissed that away? And he Ajaxed literally the first frame of the series? Nah, that dude sucks. Actually, retirement home time.
For frame 1 Ajax.
Listen, he told me himself. He was like, "Yeah, I Ajax map 1." I was like, "Dog, you can't be Ajax. The first beat of the series, you can't Ajax. That's not allowed."
This is why I don't play Lucio anymore. I will Ajax my first Ajax every fucking time for some reason. And normally that'll be the only time you ever hear me talk during the game because I'll just say fuck.
All right, I'm beating.
Oh my gosh, there's this clip from, I know I'm derailing more, but fuck it. There's this clip from when I was doing stuff with my collegiate team that I actually sent to Spec because very similar situation to Dex, except Dex, when told to ult, will ult. And we're like in the middle of a series, right? We're fucking down 2 maps, shit's fucking stressful as fuck. And I'm like, all right, Kiri, it's time to rush. And then I die, and I literally get up out of my chair in the esports facility. I say, where the fuck is my rush? Like, I don't even censor it or anything in the moment. I'm like, where the fuck is my rush? And then after I say that, we finally get the Kitsune rush out. I'm like, dog, what the fuck are we doing? What's happening? And now I'm the captain of that collegiate team, so that's gonna be great. That dude's definitely not gonna be fucking allowed on the roster. I'll say that right here and now. Fuck that guy.
Holy shit.
Oh god, that's the worst.
Yeah, we're getting a hate and vitriol out here pretty early on today. Normally that's something for about a little bit over an hour from now. But fuck it.
Yeah, I'm feeling hateful and spiteful.
Want to tell us why?
Because I hate myself, and so I project that onto other people.
Yo,
Dex now scared because I gave a therapy answer. He's like, "Oh no."
Yeah. Yeah, I immediately regretted asking that question.
Good
job, Megan. You did it.
I make Dex regret things. 2025.
Isn't that what you said this podcast is? Just you and Hunter making me regret ever thinking of this?
I think I definitely said that at points, but also, actually, this came up earlier in CGL as well, Dex. I was talking to, I think it was Mochi, and I just was like, yeah, you saw? You saw what I said, where I was like, this stupid fucker won't promote himself?
I was going to say something, but I was at work, so I really couldn't.
Yeah, pull out Discord on the phone while you're just doing work things, that's all.
Right.
True. So what? You know, that's fine. That's legal, I'm sure.
At least partially. Maybe you got one of the self-driving cars, then you can really focus on it.
True. That's probably legal.
Do I have enough money for a self-driving car?
I mean, to be fair, what really is a self-driving car at the end of the day?
My conspiracy theory is that all self-driving cars actually have like a secret chimpanzee that's like operating the engine. He's like chilling in there.
Yeah. See, my car, I don't actually have an engine. I just have like 20 hamsters on wheels.
You're getting negative horsepower.
Getting hamster power.
Those hamsters will die going up a 2-degree incline.
Listen, it's not a long drive, all right? It's okay.
Hunter just hasn't thought about this, but realizes now why it takes him 47 minutes to go to the corner Like, he's just like, huh, I thought my car was just really slow.
Hey, Hunter, did it snow this weekend by you?
Oh, well, lots of it, yeah.
They would have froze to death.
No.
Okay, but that's not Hunter's fault. Like, let's be real. Hamsters die if you look at them the wrong way. Like, everybody has a crazy story of a hamster fucking falling over on some dumb shit.
It's like hamsters and goldfish. I don't know what it is about those two creatures. It's like they just crave death for some reason. I don't get it.
I never had a hamster. I never had a goldfish, but I had beta fish. And I shit you not, I had one survive for 4 years. In the last 2.5 years of its life, it just laid at the bottom of its tank.
Well, yeah, it's a beta. It says it right in the name. That's very beta behavior.
I mean, listen, you knew what you were getting into when you got beta fish. I'm just saying.
I didn't get the beta fish that was given to me as a gift.
That's got to be the worst fucking gift I've ever heard of in my, like, no disrespect. It was probably your parents.
No.
But, like, no? Okay, listen. Like, who the fuck? It's like, hey, here's a money sink and a chore for a gift. Like, go fuck yourself. That's actually toxic as fuck.
It's wild. Like, this has been the case. There's been about 2 or 3 different women I've gone on dates with to say I need to get a beta fish. I was like, why do I want a beta fish? I don't want a pet. Please stop trying to, as you said, pawn off an expense on me, essentially.
Basically, having a fish, I mean, yeah, it's a pet, but it's also just a fish.
It is just a fish. It's fish.
Like, as long as you feed it maybe like 2 times a week, you're probably good. It's probably going to live.
Probably.
With feeding fish too, no wonder your fucking pets die. The fuck you mean feed 2 times a week?
4 years. Beta fish don't live 6.
And you said for 2 years it was at the bottom of the tank. So was it really 4 years, Dex? Like, let's talk about it.
Yeah, it was alive. It ate. It was
just old at that point.
Yeah.
I like to imagine just the Zoomer meaning of like it when you said it ate. Just like, OMG, it ate that. Yes.
Fucking slay, bitch.
God, I can't, bro.
Dex. Oh my god, that's like the fucking bisexual moment of the week. Oh, that's hilarious.
That sounds like something on TikTok.
Welcome to the bisexual moment of the week, brought to you by Megalass, apparently.
No, it was you. You're the one who hit it. Listen, like that shit was funny as fuck. Anyway. Honestly, we could talk about this Shadow guy now. I feel like I've derailed it enough.
Yeah.
I've hit my quota of yapping for the week.
It's been 20 minutes since I asked the what got you in questions. Shadow, how about we go to the next part of the question, which is a direct of piggyback off it, even with all the derails. What keeps you coming back to doing esports productions?
Honestly, it's just fun. It's a fun thing to do in your free time, I can't be as on top of stuff as I want to be because I work 2 jobs, but like I'll still come in like after I get off of my main job, like 5 o'clock, and I can, try and catch up on some stuff. And a lot of what I do anyways is just off the cuff, off the top of my dome. So like I don't really have to prepare or anything. Like the most I have to do is, read some team sheets, try and remember some players' names, uh, recognize what the patch notes are, and as long as I can do those things, I know how the hero interactions all happen. That's how my brain works. I love details, so that's really fun to me. It's really fun to me to just come on and talk about video games for a couple hours. I enjoy it, so that would probably be the main thing. And the extra money never hurts either. Like I like getting the little extra to just buy some stuff that I wouldn't have been able to afford otherwise.
Yeah, I will say this. Probably, like any... This is going to sound sad, honestly, now that I'm thinking. Any money I've made from esports casting this year has just gone straight back into, I'm going to buy the battle pass. I'm a 27-year-old man, and I just...
That is pathetic as fuck. Like, I absolutely relate, because, sometimes you got to get the battle basket, especially the current one, the Halloween. Like, there's some fire skins in there, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, we should totally try to get sponsored by Blizzard. Free battle passes sounds heat.
We gotta get sponsored by somebody, like even like Plat Chat had like T-Mobile,
I feel like we could get gamer subs. I feel like that's possible.
I mean, I feel like it's possible. The chance is higher than 0. Listen, I'm just saying. Dex is writing it down. He's writing it down. Sponsorship incoming. Listen.
No, that's why I'm titling this part of the fucking podcast. Yeah, so if you want to sponsor us, I think I made an email for this podcast. I think it's FTLP podcast at Gmail. Or just DM the one of the 3 of us, and we'll figure something out. That would be wild, though. No, there's a line. We will not take anything.
Yeah, no gambling.
Yes.
What the fuck you mean no gambling?
No gambling. Like
no gambling.
We had this. We legit have made the joke about a DraftKings sponsorship. We've made that joke before.
Mega, we had this conversation all the way back in week 1 of the NFL season, where it was great, and then the next week it's fucking awful.
Well, yeah, but like shit, I'm not turning down free money. I'm broke. Fuck you mean?
Yeah, I always say I can be bought for the right price.
That's okay, hold on. That sounds bad out of context. Hold on, let's keep it pushing.
Hold up.
Hold on a second. Anyway.
Yeah, so if you want to sponsor, just get in contact with any of us. I did not expect to be talking about this tonight, but if you want to, we'll make a deal. A fair deal for how many people normally watch or listen to this podcast.
Fair deal. 50 cents.
Hey, listen, we have listeners in Malaysia or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, shout out to whoever is listening to us on Spotify in Malaysia. That was the 5th most listened country for our podcast. Shout out Rain, because she single-handedly made Canada #1.
Let's go.
And Spec, he couldn't do it for the UK. UK is still 3rd.
I mean, well, no, because it's like Day who's trying to keep up the UK. Spectreon doesn't ever listen, remember?
Spec told me that he listens to us. He put it in the podcast server.
Nah, I don't believe him. That guy's a liar.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to know our top 5 most listened to countries for this podcast from Spotify, it's Canada, the US, the UK, Australia, and Malaysia.
Who the fuck's listening in Australia?
I don't know, but it's cool.
No, it's probably Hunter or something. No,
VPNs,
it's a
man.
secret fan.
Fucking
Secret fan.
Okay, if it's Hunter, here, if this is a direct message to Hunter, if it's you, reach out to us. Come on.
You know what?
Fuck
you know
it.
What? It's got to be him or Color Hex. It's one of the two.
Yeah, whoever's listening to Australia,
no, I'm not taking that fuck ass Kiwi. No, fuck that guy.
Whoever's listening to Australia, if you do anything in esports prod, reach out to us. Okay,
God.
but let's get back to Shadow here. I mean, like the having fun part of it. That is one that's always kind of been, I feel like, for a lot of people that have answered this question, a part of their answer, but it's normally been overshadowed by something else that we have talked about at length. Like that, but the having fun part of it is so important because, I mean, if you're not having fun, why do it? Like it's the biggest thing about it. Like, yeah, there's money occasionally to do it, but it's not like every time I do it, I'm gonna get paid. No, you're doing it because it's just so fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I was the worst possible public speaker of all time growing up, so I think it's fun to try and increase that skill in some capacity, get better at just bantering back and forth with somebody, just building that general rapport up. I think that whole piece of it is just a really enjoyable time, quite honestly, and that's what's kept me around more than anything. I don't even play Overwatch anymore. Like I can't tell you the last time I booted up that game, but I still know it like the back of my hand because it's just a really it's fun to be able to try and explain this to somebody that doesn't know it, right? Like because I've shown it to some family members a few times just to try and make them somewhat understand it, but they'll never really quite get it. But yeah, that's a whole different discussion.
That's like my mom. Anytime anytime I tell her to watch it, it's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but it's cool to hear you. It's like, cool, Mom, this is at least the double digit time. You've at least watched this more than 10 times. Please, something about it. Just anything. I don't want to explain every individual thing to you. But Hunter, Mega, I mean, again, this is, what we do, especially with casting. And Mega, you've done some production work as well. Hunter, you do production work for the Face It stuff. Could probably do it as well for leagues if you wanted. But again, a lot of this is because we're having generally a lot of fun with it. Yeah, there's going to be times where, like I said, the hardest thing to cast a 3-0 stomp because you feel your life kind of getting drained from you sometimes. But you still, even when it's over, you're still saying, yeah, I'm going to do that again.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the one way you have to think about it, especially in our line of doing Face It, if we go out there and we watch somebody stomp somebody else 3-0, the thought for me isn't, man, that sucks that was a roll. My thought is, man, we get to cast that team again in a couple weeks and watch them take on somebody even stronger. That's what goes into my mind. We don't always get that with CGL because obviously, yeah, I mean, it is optimistic at the end of the day. We never know what's going to happen in one set game, but still, it makes you believe that, like, okay, we can hand select essentially a game that we believe is going to be close. And to be fair, we're not always right. In fact, more often than not, we're not correct. It's been a minute since we picked like a game for Face It where it's been like, all right, this is like S tier, like close game right here. But I don't know. It's easier to be optimistic about like it's a 3-0, yeah, but the fact that it is a 3-0, you're done with it in like 45 minutes to an hour max, and you can look forward to be like, okay, this is the team to look out for, and 2 or 3 weeks down the line, hopefully you get a game with them that's not going to be a 3-0 stomp where you see a really good team like that take on another really good team. That's the hope.
I mean, I would say just to kind of add on to what Hunter's saying right there, that's the positive of the 3-0, right? It's like, well, you're either going to get an incredible stomp that's over in an hour, or you're going to get a really close game. So, it's like that's usually the only two outcomes. The 3-1s where it was a stomp and one team just tossed away a map because they banned Zenyatta on Gibraltar. Those are the tough ones. Those are the tough ones.
Oh yeah, when you know this is extending, but you know it's not going to change the result. We've had a couple of those where I'll watch that and they will barely win, and it's like I have to pretend like this is going to change something, but I know in the back of my head it's not going to.
Just did one of those yesterday, so yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that was tough.
I'll always say, like, I'll be optimistic about, like, hey, if it's a 3-1 or if it's a 2-1 and or 2-0 and one team wins it in a best of 5 to make it 2-1, I'll start saying, like, hey, maybe they figured something out. This is it. Like, I'm not necessarily thinking like they somehow won this map. Dear God, why is this series extending? It's like I'm fake hyping myself up that they figured it out. This is gonna be a reverse sweep. This is gonna be awesome. And then it's like, oh, it really wasn't.
Yeah, it's just the Winston team got Gibraltar. All right, cool.
Legit. Easy. GG.
What I saw yesterday in the Diamond Tier Grand Finals was Rhines on Gibraltar, so that was something.
We love to see it.
Well, it was honestly, we did see a Winston mirror the first round, but the defensive team was so good that they both just went Rhine on the second because it was that far. The car was pushed that far.
Oh, you mean the Plat finals yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was something.
Yeah, it really was. Shout out to Ambitious Silver Squad. I mean, on that, shout out to the abbreviation for that team as well. But Mega, what about you when it comes to, having fun with casting?
I mean, like I said, like the fun comes down to just like what you can truly do in the moment. And that's just such an important thing as well. Is just making sure that you are sort of having fun with it. Because just like anything else in life, if you're not having fun, why are you here? Why are you doing what you're doing? You know what I mean? And the biggest thing is like casting, it truly can be a joy and stuff like that. To get to watch teams and, you have those fun matches where it's like a 3-0 stomp and you're like, oh, there's going one way, ha 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 ha. But like at the end of the day, there's still things to always be said, right? A 3-0 stomp on literally the only way that you could like theoretically be bored casting it is if the other team is unable to get a kill. Like if it truly is like a 3-0 stomp to the point where one team cannot get an elimination on another player in the lobby, then it's like, ooh, yeah, this hurts, okay. But otherwise, there's always the silver lining. There's moments to look for. And sort of keeping that energy and stuff like that can just keep pushing you through a series here. And then, like you said, when you build up to those like extra fun series, where it's like, okay, we've seen this team be the best of the best, but all of a sudden it's shaken. For example, we've had it. I think 2 separate playoff brackets. We've seen people complete lower bracket ones and now sitting in grand finals for CGL, both in NA Masters and the Open tier even. And both of them had like revenge match situations set up where they had to defeat the team that sent them to lowers. And it's like, that's hype. There's storyline behind it. Even if the match goes one way and it's a stomp, like I think the NA Masters one was, it was a 3-0. It's still, or not that was the Open. But regardless, like I said, even though it was a 3-0, it's like, oh, there's hype here. There's the storyline is finally coming to a fruition. And that in and of itself is a hype moment. And that's how you can have so much fun with it.
And also, like, there's the other thing going into series where it's like you look at the teams, you look at the records, you maybe seen them throughout the seasons, and especially in these community leagues, where you're going into it and you're saying like, okay, this team's been so good throughout the entire season, and this team that they're playing in the grand finals, they've had their moments, but they've never been able to beat this team. And it might be they've played them 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and they've never been able to find anything. And that's essentially what happened in the South American Grand Finals, where Factor X had just kind of ran through that South American tier in CGL the entire season. And they went up against Garfo, who I think Factor X had beaten them the 2 times they played them. and never dropped a map. They've only dropped 2 maps up until that point the entire season. They ended up losing in 7. Like having that kind of storyline build up where it's like this giant underdog story actually happen is so fun to watch it progress through.
Yeah, and I mean it's cool too to see like teams running it back. I think that's really fun to see too. Like I can go back to the Diamonds here where that team, Queen of Diamonds, then becoming Shelby's team, trying to run for a three-peat essentially. Uh, Obviously, they lost yesterday, but it's still fun to try and see them, repeat. Because it's very rare at least for me, it's rare to see in Diamonds here in particular the same people over and over again. Because usually they rank out of the tier so quick. So it was really cool for me to at least recognize some names and be like, oh, wow, I actually know who these people are. This is crazy. Usually it's like all new people all the time, it feels like. So that I found that to be pretty exciting too.
Yeah. Zay, what'd you do? Zay's destroying my house.
Beautiful.
Yeah, no, but like, especially in Diamond Tier, like you said, because it's so like you said, it's so rare to see teams and players stay in, especially a team as good as what Shelby's team, or was it Solar Eclipse or Lunar Eclipse?
Yeah, Solar Eclipse, and Queen of Diamonds. That was all of their names.
Yeah, like to see that core, because there have been some players that did rank out, that keep a core in Diamond. It's unheard of, because a lot of times the Diamond tier it goes from being a tier with a lot of teams, then to a tier with just enough teams to have its own tier, and then go back to a tier with a lot of teams. It's one of those very fluctuating tiers.
Yeah, I mean that's what happened when we won. Everybody on my team ranked out, every single person except me. So I always say I was the worst player of the team because I was the only person that did not rank out. The rest of my team all hit Grandmaster, like decently high into Grandmaster during the season. So it's like that's usually the teams that win the tiers, though. It's teams that have ranked up way above everybody else, and that's why they're winning the tier.
Even though you look at the rank wise of everyone on Shu's production crew, I'm not the worst rank wise, but I think I was the worst player when it came to actually playing the game, playing our matches, because it's that whole thing of me being so indecisive with using ultimates and not wanting to fuck something up.
I say it all the time when we're in cast. I'm like, hey, you just gotta let it rip. You just gotta let it rip, right? I say it all the time because you'll see teams losing just simply because of that. Like it'll just simply be this team is being aggressive and using their ults proactively, and the other team isn't. They're just sitting there and waiting, trying to be reactive, and you can't really do that in Overwatch. You've got to be proactive more often than not.
Yeah, and if you're gonna be reactive, you have like a second, sometimes not even, to react, or else you're just screwed, like straight up screwed.
That's how you Ajax, right? If you don't hit that button at the exact moment that it needs to be hit, you Ajax. That's just what it is, and it's really hard to hit that. So it's easier to be proactive. So that I think that's why more teams just tend to go that way.
I think the most unfortunate Ajax I've ever had was I was about to hit the ground, I got knocked into the air by a pile driving wrecking ball, and then booped off the map.
No. Yeah.
Okay, but let's now get the wheels back on. Wow, the wheels back on the track here.
Okay.
And getting back into it a little bit. Like, what's one thing that going into every cast or every kind of production you do? Like, what's one thing you kind of already mentioned a little bit, but what's one thing you always try to do to at least make sure you're on top of some stuff? It might not necessarily mean the players, might not necessarily mean the game. It's just something you do to try to make sure that you're projecting, you completely understand what's going on and how these teams are playing.
Well, typically the thing that I always do when I hop in, we get on call 30 minutes before the game starts. But sometimes I'm eating dinner or something because a lot of times I am literally getting home moments before the call starts. So like I gotta eat, do something. So I'll usually hop on, and then immediately what I do is I look at both teams' rosters in their entirety, and then I look at their entire everything that they've played for the whole season, just to see what's happened. Have these two teams played each other? If they did play each other, what happened? Have they played similar teams? Obviously, they probably have. What happened when they played teams of the same skill level? That sort of thing, just to give myself a general idea of what might happen going into the match. But usually, it's pretty straightforward because the two teams have played each other and it was a 3-0 one way or the other. That's usually what it is more often than not. And with the good teams, you're usually familiar with them because we tend to cast a lot of the same teams over and over again. So when it is the good teams, I have a good idea of what to expect. And sometimes too, I'll just take a look at what like their favorite heroes, their favorite comps are. It's easy with some teams. Like I use the Diamond team, Death Blossom. They're a very easy team. They like to play Zarya and Reaper and just run it down. That's what they like to do. So that's probably what you're going to end up seeing for that whole series. But with other teams, sometimes I just have to, like I said, look up what their favorite composition is to play. What is the map pick that they're going to have in? Some teams are usually early with that. And when you put all those different things together, you can just kind of try and predetermine what's going to happen, but still kind of try and be off the cuff because to me, I feel like that's my main appeal is that I'm not putting on a show or anything. I'm just literally hopping in as myself. So I try to keep as much of me in my casting as I can.
Yeah, and that's a good strategy. But like, there's those times, especially like where you're going into a series, you're seeing a team never seen before, you don't recognize any of the players, and like that's the one thing when it comes to like actually prepping for teams and looking them up that's difficult sometimes. But a lot of times that situation, it's just like I sit there and just say, okay, I'm just gonna touch on what's strong and say this is what we could see from them. We could see this. Maybe they throw something wild out there, and normally I just say something like a Doomfist or a Wrecking Ball because I think those are the two like wild cards when it comes to tanks. And normally you kind of expect or know what to expect built around a Doomfist. The diamond or no, the plat tier I always thought was a great place if you're a caster trying to get in and just learn because it's so random because you have people who are actual one tricks on heroes you do not see in any other tier that you have to always kind of be on your toes for just random bullshit.
That is probably one of the most fun things about casting that tier as well, because you'll just get a Rhine team. They're just a Rhine team, right? And I love seeing a team play Reinhardt because that is my favorite hero in Overwatch to play. Because you can make somebody look so foolish on that character if they aren't used to playing against Reinhardt. And it's beyond fun to just bait people with pins, pin in, cancel, and just shatter the entire enemy backline because they're just not used to seeing somebody be so reckless. And I'm right there with you though. Plat tier, I'm glad it was back this season because it's like the nice fun zone for watching games. Because once you get to diamond, it starts getting to that sweaty tier. I like to say, like where teams are trying to run meta comps all the time. Like they're not just trying to play what they're strong at. They're just trying to force what they think the quote unquote meta is for the tier.
Mega, how do you feel about plat tier being back?
I fucking hate plat tier. Like,
Man.
Okay, absolutely. Like, jokes aside, it's phenomenal. It's great. I think we genuinely, if there were teams for every single tier that wanted to play, I think that we should have it. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those sign up base that, like, if they want to have a bronze tier and there's bronze players that want to play, I'm down for it 110%. It's just, it comes back to my style of casting where sometimes I can be critical. And plat tier, the one time that I casted it made me want to rip my fucking eyes out because it was just gameplay of a different caliber. And again, nothing wrong with that. We're not rank shaming here. It's 2025. We don't do that cringe shit. But just don't put me on those games. Simple as.
Hunter, did you cast any plat tier this season?
I think I did it like once, maybe twice, but that was like way earlier on. I don't know, man. I've been surrounded by plat players so long in my life. It's at this point, I'm just so used to it.
You're one of them.
It does. I mean, I was one of them. Definitely was.
Cast
at
with
one
one
point
of
in
them.
my life.
You've casted with one of them a lot.
You are correct. That is true. That is true.
Wait, Dex, you're plat?
Yeah.
I thought you were gold. My bad.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Why do you?
Right
I don't.
there.
Okay. I suck. I don't suck ass.
I'm right there with you, Dex. I'm probably plat now. I have no idea.
You were like
I haven't placed in
like
years.
Straight up thought you were like a like I thought you were gold, but I thought it was just like you didn't play ranked. Like that's what I was thinking.
No, I'm plat,
right?
but I don't.
I was
play
like,
ranked.
oh, this dude. Okay, see, exactly. Like, listen, you 100% could be like Diamond 5.
I'm Diamond 5 as a support and a tank, which I don't know how. Oh. You good there, Mega?
Potentially. I've frozen like 3 times now, and that's the first time that's actually been noticeable. So I'm curious. Probably shouldn't be like downloading and installing editing software while recording, but it's fine.
That might do it.
We do it live here on the podcast.
True. We do it live.
Yeah, but I mean, going along that line, like Chad, especially with in-game changes, like subs, I feel like they always bring such a different thing. Like, how do you always try to what's your method for trying to keep up with everything? Is it just like you say you don't really acknowledge it other than it's like, hey, yeah, this person's coming in, this is the first time we're seeing them? Or do you try to say like, this person's coming in, we know this and this about them, this is probably how it's gonna change the team, does the other team know this? Like, what's your kind of go-to when it comes to either role swaps, subbing, or just a completely different kind of look from teams mid-match?
I would say it really just depends on if I know things, right? Because if I have no idea why they could possibly be doing this, I'll come up with a reason, right? I'm sure y'all have heard me say something like, maybe this is just their Lucio player, right? Like, this guy just plays Lucio. That's all he does. The other person that plays is a main support player that can play Lucio, right? So you want them in on maps where Lucio is an option, but we could also tend to aim more towards a Brig or a Juno or something. But this person is, one of those weirdos, as I call them, right? There are weirdo players. They always play Lucio and Wrecking Ball. I don't know why they play those 2 heroes. That's the only 2 heroes they usually play. They just play Lucio and Wrecking Ball, and they're incredibly good at both of those heroes. So sometimes that could be the reason that this person comes in, right? So I'll just try and err towards that. And then there will be other times I know why this person comes in. I know that this particular person is really, really good at Ana, and this is a dive map. That's why this person came in, right? Or for instance, what team was that had Dirt as one of the tanks? It's like, I know that they're just coming in. I know they're just coming in for Roadhog shenanigans. That's what they're gonna do. We're fully aware of what's about to happen here. It's no surprise. And when their other tank came in, they were gonna do something more traditional. So it just depends on what I know from seeing it. If it's a team I've never seen before, I will just take shot in the dark guesses at what I think it could be based on the map that we're about to see. Because usually the map will tell me more because, they're probably trying to do something different. They're trying to run a different comp, a different hero. And then sometimes, like you said, you mentioned it earlier, it could be a Doomfist. They're just bringing in a Doomfist player to do Doomfist things. That could be it. It's just using that general game knowledge that we all have and just trying to apply it in this particular situation.
The person who exclusively plays Ball and Lucio is only playing Ball and Lucio because they just want to play Sonic, but they haven't been happy with how Sega has been, making games lately. But guy, Hunter, Mega, like in the same thing, like changes, whether it be role swaps, whole team swaps, subs, like what's your guys like kind of go to with that? Because a lot of the times it's like I already mentioned, you might not know enough about the team You might not know enough about the player to know what happens, or you might actually know enough about the team and player to kind of predict what's.
See, it is highly dependent on just whether you know or don't know. See, typically we do, if we do like, whether it is face at CGL, whatever it is, if we do a team multiple times, we can normally pick up on it. But there are obviously a very big handful of times where, we'll jump in to do a CGL game, and that'll be the first time that we've personally seen a team play that season. And whether that's just because we haven't seen games that have been streamed, they haven't been streamed up to that point. We can only go in with the information that we are essentially given. So if a swap comes through, like say if we start on Lijiang Tower, then we go into map 2 and it's like Circuit Royale and they make a swap and it's a support swap. Logic dictates like, okay, they are swapping in probably for like a second flex support in my brain. That's what that screams. But if you go from like King's Row to Suravasa and they make a DPS swap, that feels a little different because the style's not really changing, but it sometimes it comes down to being based off of bans as well, because obviously the system is, if bans come through, you can still make swaps in some cases. So you got to take in a lot, but usually I try to make as much sense out of it as I can. I'll throw a prediction out in the dark, 100%. If I do not know, it's like, this is what I'm guessing they're doing. If I'm right, awesome. If I'm wrong, awesome. That's fine by me. I tried.
Okay.
That's your cue.
Yeah, listen, there's a lot of factors, okay? I don't know. Like, I'm always happy to throw out a guess, but I'm gonna be so real with like bans and stuff specifically. Like, teams piss me the fuck off sometimes because there's just nonsensical bans. All the fuck it. Like, listen, it's like, all right, we're loading up Lijiang for the 14 billionth time, and we've banned Lucio when we want to play Lucio. Why? Because we said fuck it. That's why. And it's just like, it's dumb shit like that. Like, there is a level of predictability when you know meta and stuff like that, and you want to encourage that as much as humanly possible. But at the same time, for the love of God, teams stop acting like fucking jagoffs and just be predictable. And just like do the predictable thing. Be boring one time. That's all we ask.
I will say, I remember like during the early parts of the ban, teams where bans were first being implemented, teams were incredibly predictable because there was a streak of probably like 12 or 13 straight games. I don't think I got a single ban wrong. Like everybody thought I was cheating because like I had to be looking at the message they put on there. But it's like, no, it's really easy to predict what teams are going to do because a lot of times they're going to overreact. And that's exactly what you were just talking about, Mega, where a team will get just decimated by a Pharah map 1 and then ban it map 2 on a map that doesn't make sense to play Pharah on. And I'm just over here like, why did you do that? There is a map that Pharah can be played on later that you could ban that on at that point in time, but you overreacted and banned Pharah on King's Row. That's not a useful ban in my opinion. But again, that's you just that's where that niceness, I guess, comes out from me, where I'm just like, oh yeah, I don't really get that, but cool, I guess.
God damn it! I had something that I was going to talk about here. Now. I've completely fucking forgot.
While you think about it, can we just double down on how bad some of these bans have been? Like, not naming names, but like there have been some abysmal bans. We have seen some abysmal bans as of late that I just don't understand. The amount of games I've seen.
Shit, it's crazy. No. I was just doing nonsense. It's fine. Shut up. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. Like when I see a team come out, and again, I'm not going to name names, not going to name teams because I don't live that life. But when you Dex, we did this game. When you have a team that goes out there with an Orisa, and they do it 2 maps in a row, and it's clearly the most confident tank that you have in the book, why do you then go and proceed in that 3rd map to ban out your own Orisa? Why did that happen? Because that is what happened. Why is that choice made? Because let me tell you, it didn't work. It did not fix the problem at hand. Like, listen, I get it, but I don't at the same time. Why do we make these choices? Why do we do this?
Why do we exist? Just to suffer.
Just suffer. Sometimes it makes no sense, and we have to try to explain it like it does
Yeah.
make sense. And there'll be times where I'm there with Spec or with Mega, and we have to be like, "Yeah, I don't know why this doesn't seem correct."
I think that's the funnest kind of time. Like that's one of the only times like I drop the curtain or like whatever act I'm putting on about how the series is going, where it's like, what the hell is this ban? This ban makes zero sense. Why? We haven't seen either team play this. This isn't necessarily a map for this hero. Why is this your ban? Are you protection banning? Because I hope to God it's a protection ban. Because if it's not, what series are you reading?
Watching people fucking take it to Circuit Royale and then ban Diva, it's like, what fucking crack were you smoking? Like, were the voices in your head telling you that there was going to be a Diva?
The voices do stuff like that a pretty decent amount.
Honestly, like, listen, to be fair, it's one of the funniest things ever. Like, it actually is just like it's the fucking Star Wars meme of the Jedi mind control. It's just like, ooh, you will ban fucking Mercy when nobody's played it in 6 years. Ooh, it's like, okay, somebody is in somebody else's head right now at such an insane level.
You know what? I thought CR playing Pharmacy in World Finals would have done a bigger number, but surprisingly, it hasn't. I have not ran into more pharmacies.
Yeah, because we're in fucking piss low. Nobody plays. That's the other problem is people will like look at metas and stuff like that, and they'll be like, "Oh my goodness, this Symmetra character is absolutely a menace. They have to nerf her immediately." And then you go into your ranked games, and people are playing fucking Junkrat Reaper on maps like fucking Junkertown, where you need long range hit scan. It's like you can't predict what the average player is going to do because the average player is 10 times stupider than you give them credit for.
Why'd you turn British there to talk about Sim?
Listen, I don't know. It just fit. The piece is connected.
I think it's simply because like Spec has had the same conversation with Mega, and she was just having like a flashback situation.
Spec has done numbers to Mega.
True.
Don't give that man credit. No, he's absolutely done fuck all.
Oh well, I didn't say it was credit.
Nah, that dude actually, like, again, he's just a fucking fuckhead. He's just a fucking wanker. Anyway.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
That's crazy.
They're going away from bans here and back over to Shadow. Shadow, with what you're doing right now with casting, like you said, you're kind of only sticking with CGL, but you have kind of branched out to other leagues and other games. Are you looking to branch out more? I know you mentioned it a little bit more, but are you still trying to? Are you still wanting to kind of keep yourself where you are now, or is there that like kind of desire or want to kind of like say, you know, let me go try this or try this league? Is there that out there?
I mean, I think it would be cool to do a little bit more, but I also don't know exactly where to look for it. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to it. I am the type of person that will just kind of say yes to pretty much everything. That just tends to be me. That's also why I don't offer myself up for things at work, because I would say yes to everything. That is just my personality. So I think it would be fun to see what other leagues are about. You know, see all the different people that cast. You know, because I have good times casting with all the different people that show up. You know, like all the new people we've had come in. I've enjoyed like Rags and D'Lo. I've casted with them a good bit. That's been a fun time. And Mott isn't necessarily new anymore to the CGL server, but you know, I cast with Mott all the time. People constantly make fun and say that I'm Fletch's brother every time that we end up on stream together. So that's always funny too. So
off topic, sort of on topic. How tall are you?
Me, I'm only 5'10".
Fletch is like 6'5".
Yeah, I know, right? That's what I always say.
Like that again.
Fletch up.
What?
Don't gas Fletch up. Don't talk about
how is
he's
this gassing
6'5".
him up?
Yeah, no, because like, listen, being tall is desirable for some reason, and like he doesn't deserve that. I don't know. I have to hate Fletch. It's in my contract.
Is it legally binding?
I mean, there was a lawyer present when it was signed, so.
I'll do it.
Yeah, but like
keep it official out here.
Everything by the books. If we go even 1 centimeter outside of the book, jail. Not even consideration, just jail, maybe in death.
No $200 or pass and go.
Straight to jail.
Yeah.
Life sentence.
Unless you roll doubles, then you get out.
True.
Think about that as an actual like real thing with actual jail. Like, hey, yeah, no, all you have to do, you have these 2 dice. If you roll doubles, you get to go home, man. Think about how insane that would be.
Great. You just like, all right, you are in for murder. You just got to hit these double sixes though, and you're out.
No, I think it would be the more extreme the charge, the more sides the die is.
Oh, so yeah, like you throw 2 D100s, that would be absurd.
Yeah, life sentence, 2 D100s. Have fun, man. 1 in 100 chance. No, but getting back to what the question was. I mean, branching it. There's always like right now. I also just don't know where to look because I would say 2-3 years ago, I felt like there was always leagues just kind of popping up all over the place for like casting and production, just for leagues that were looking for that. But I know there's still ones out there, but especially for Overwatch, since Rivals has really taken off, you've started to see a lot of those leagues kind of gravitate more towards Rivals, which I don't think is a bad thing. But it just Overwatch leagues are kind of going away. And you have you still have very small ones out there that occasionally I get recommended on Twitch. It's fun to see that. But you're not seeing them as often as you used to maybe 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely agree. I can definitely agree with you on that. Because I'm in, what is it? I'm in some casting server where people post like casting jobs.
Is it
Broadcast GG?
Yeah, BGG.
Yeah, that one. And I'll occasionally look on there just to see if they have anything, but yeah, most of the time it's nothing. Or there's been a couple of times where I've tried to talk to somebody and it just led absolutely nowhere. It was just people saying, I am a very no BS kind of person. So as soon as people use sales lingo and buzzwords on me, I stop. Like that's it. You've lost me. At that exact moment, you've lost me. Stop trying to sell me. Like speak to me like a person. And that happened to me a few times when I was talking to some people. They had some really nice looking websites, but something felt like sketch about it to me.
If someone came to me and said, "Hey, do you want to come cast for this league? Here's our website," I would immediately say, like, "Do you guys have a website?" And, like, I know CGL and BPL have their own like dedicated websites, but if like the first thing you talk about of like, "Hey, you want to come cast? Here's our website," not here's like our Twitch or here's some VODs, it's like, why are you so focused on the website, not like the actual thing you're doing? Seems like a little bit of a red flag.
Yeah, so like I said, that's been my experience when I have tried to branch out at all, is I've ran into like weird stuff like that. So, we'll eventually find some other things to cast in, I'm sure. I'm not super stressed about it or anything, because again, this is just something I do after I've gone to work, after I've done a workout. Like it's like right at the end of the day most of the time, so it's not super high on the priority list, but it is a cool thing to just have more of it potentially.
Yeah, I mean, I completely understand that. And there's a lot of casters out there and a lot of production people out there who do the exact same thing. Like they do this as like a hobby. And I feel like for a lot of people that is perfect. Like it's absolutely the right thing to do. You don't put the stress on yourself saying I need to make money doing this or else it's not it's not worth my time. No, you can have hobbies. This could, like, casting, production work, hell, even playing in the, like, I would say playing in leagues like CGL, like BPL, SPCS. Let me scroll through my thing here. When you have Kitsune pop up, or when you have Kunoichi come in, like, you could still say those are hobbies. Yeah, there's a prize pool there sometimes, but I feel like the biggest thing is just getting on and playing with, like, your friends or your team and having fun doing that.
Well, I mean, that's the thing that makes Overwatch in particular so much fun is the team play aspect of it, which you only get from playing in these leagues because it sure doesn't happen in ranked. In ranked, you got to show up and you got to clock in. That's the way I think of ranked. Ranked is I'm taking my time card, I'm clocking in, and I'm getting ready to try and backpack 4 other people out of this lobby. Because if I don't do that, there is no way I'm going to win this game. That's the only way I can win this game is trying to backpack these other players.
Oh god, that makes me never want to touch ranked again. Just
That's how it feels though, don't it? Like you be in there playing and you're like, man, I'm 20-3. The rest of my team is 5-7. Wait a minute, that ain't right.
I'm playing a good game. Why the fuck are you playing goddamn Junkrat? You're 2-11. Don't get mad at me when you're dying all the time because you're suiciding yourself into the other team.
Why has my Kiriko got 12 deaths and I'm Winston with 3? That ain't right. That ain't right. You got to do better. I'm sorry. This isn't my fault. Stop blaming the tanks. The tanks are like quarterbacks. They get all the credit when you win, and they get all the blame when you lose, regardless of if either thing is true. That's how it feels, at least, being a tank player.
You could easily. I feel like, yeah, tank's probably the most blamable one because there's only one of it in the game.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times it just comes down to DPS. Like, you can have a tank that's playing off but still win. But if you have one DPS player who's playing off, you're not winning.
Mm-hmm.
And then support's the most important role of the 3.
Mm.
So it's like you pick your poison, quite frankly. But DPS usually is where the largest gap in skill tends to come, because even if you're running support, you can walk out on what I see most often, which is Moira Mercy. I only get irritated when the other side is playing an actual composition and my team is just like, we're not going to do that. We have no interest in playing a synergistic composition. The other side is like, we're going to run the most synergistic composition possible right now because of course we are.
Or they're running a comp that you're like, wow, that's a terrible fucking comp. That's like, holy shit, everything's working. What the fuck? How are they doing this?
Or you get the Pocket Baptiste. That's a very common one too. The Pocket Baptiste is very common.
I run into Pocket Bastion too many. I hate it. I hate it all.
It's always a Pocket Baptiste whose name is like 420 YOLO, and it's in like some sort of weird font that you don't know how he did that, but that's his name, and you're just like, what are you doing? This is weird. You're just over here having the most healing and damage in the whole lobby on this character. This is absurd.
Again, off topic, on topic. I hate that when you look at other countries' fonts in Overwatch, it's like NA and EU got the worst. I think Korea honestly has like the best font because it's like a little bit sleeker, a little bit like sportier. I like it a little bit more.
Yeah, that's how you get all the best players to play. You know, you make their font the best.
You gotta just, hey, a cool ass font will get you a long way in this world. Like, I'm trying to think of a logo that hasn't changed because it's just a really cool looking font, but I'm drawing a blank on a lot. Behind me.
Oh no, I think Nike's remained pretty similar throughout the years.
Yeah, ever since they went over to the swoosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Mega Hunter, it's not that time, but do you guys have any prod questions?
This is a pretty basic one. It's basic, but it's probably not going to be the easiest answer in the world. We've at this point probably done like countless games at this point. Like we've been doing this long enough to the point where it's like I couldn't begin to count how many we've done. But still, we have games that stick within our minds. Whether it's because they were absolute blowouts and it's like I can never unsee the situation, or we casted a good map 5 or map 7. So like for you, what game like stands out for you the most? Whether that's in a good way, maybe it's a bad way too, but just what match always comes to mind when you think about what you've done?
Okay, like as far as casting a match, I would say the ones that really sticks out to me. It was my first time I ever did play by play. It was this season, and I was doing it with spec, and it was terrible. It was god awful, but they kept making crazy plays. Also, it was a 3-0 that was awful, but then the teams kept tossing like pulse bombs and getting 2Ks in fights they had already lost. Right. So it was like, oh man, that was crazy as the point got captured. Right. and and so it's like it served no purpose. That's why it really stuck out to me because at the end of it, Spec and I both said on stream, we were like, I think we should have been paid for that map. That map was so terrible that we should have been paid money to cast it. I can't remember specifically why it was terrible outside of what I just said. It's like it's like the teams just kept it's like the one team that was losing just kept tossing ultimates into fights they had lost 5 minutes ago. They lost this fight forever ago, and the one tracer is just hearing like some crazy battle music in their headset or something. Like they're hearing "You Say Run" from My Hero Academia. I don't know if y'all know that song. Like they're just hearing that as
Yeah.
they go in to toss this ultimate. And then they had a Genji player that was doing the same thing. They would just pull a blade out in a 1v5 and then just die. And I'm just like, well, that's just what happens when you play Genji. That's just what happens in that moment. And I remember it because it was funny. And humor is like the most important thing to me in my life, period. So anytime something funny happens, it's really gonna stick out to me. And so that's why I can remember that so vividly. It was hilarious.
Hunter, what about you? Your most memorable or least memorable one, or a game you want to forget, but you just fucking.
Oh god, I want to try to think of like really good ones. Hmm. Honestly, one that always comes to mind because this was the first map 7 that I had gotten since I started like getting really back into Overwatch. This was a tranquility game, believe it or not.
Shout out Trank.
If I remember quickly, what's up?
Shout out Trank.
Honestly, shout out Trank. It was a game between I need to remember. It was Kingpins and Abyss. It was rookie grand finals. And I say rookie, and you might not think, but like I've never seen two teams seem more scrappy in my entire life like this. The fact that it went 7 maps, the fact that I was there for nearly 3 hours, like that was an insane game for every correct reason. And it never leaves my mind. It's been on my reel since I've had that game, and it's one of the only clips that has been on there consistently. But I love that game, and it never will leave my mind. Maybe it'll be replaced by something else someday, but I don't think so.
I like. Again, it's weird for me because there's so many series that once they end, like when I go to bed, wake up the next morning, I barely recall what happened in them. I think the one that kind of stands out to me the most is just because like it's the entire thing for the only reason I covered it was like completely random. It was I ended up casting a collegiate homecoming game at DreamHack Atlanta because UT Dallas was there. And they're like, well, there's nothing going on right now. Everything else is on break. Do you want to cast it? And I was like, hell yeah, because I was supposed to have 2 cast that day, but they decided to move some games around. So I only was going to end up casting at 9 a.m. and then nothing else the rest of the day. So I gladly jumped on it. And I vividly just remember because me and I think it was Bearlight, the other caster, we were very much hyping up UT Dallas because, hey, they're there. We had already seen them play. They won their game at DreamHack, and they were going up against Cumberland. And at the time, I recognized a lot of Cumberland from teams in CGL, and it was like, I recognize these players a lot. I know these are good players, but I was heavily favoring UT Dallas because they were there. Cumberland just came in, though, and put their foot down. Like, it was insane to see that. And by the end of it, it was like, this is a game I said to myself, this is a game I'll never forget because of just, like, the weird scenarios of why I was able to cast it. It was such a fun series as well. Even though it was a stomp, it was such a fun series. Mega, what about you?
Immediately what comes to mind is thankfully a good series. It was actually with Hunter. I remember it was Smelvin Industries versus DYS Pleasure to Prove at, I think it was season 14 mid-season. And I mean, it was just a hype map. It goes 7 maps. It's back and forth. It's blood. It's what you want from an Overwatch match, but also the storyline of just Smelvin finally getting something, right? They had been around for so long. They had been, this team that everybody knew, a constant factor, but just could never get it done because they were the console team fighting these open teams. They were always that step behind. But I remember they won that midseason. They go on to win that season overall as well, I'm pretty sure. But it just, like, that matchup, it's even in the CGL, what's it called, the little playoff video they play, like that high noon that kills 3 is from that series. And it's just, like, I think back to that series so much purely because it was, like, such good Overwatch, and it was so hype for the story. Like, every single element of casting came together in one in that series, and it was amazing.
Oh, you know what? I actually have a couple more that came to my mind as y'all were talking about it. I have a couple more. I'm gonna go with the funny ones first, and then I'm gonna go with a good one. But one was a cast this year as well. It was me and Soav kept disconnecting mid-sentence over and over again throughout the entire broadcast. And I just continuously would pick up right where he would cut off at and be like, right you are, Soav, let's keep it going right here. We're seeing them run down main. They're about to pop off with these ultimates. It's going to be a crazy fight. And then I would occasionally just like pause just to see if he was back, and then he would be. And he would just hop right back in like nothing had happened. And then he would just cut out again. And it just kept happening for the entire series. And it was the funniest thing in the world to me. But like, we just kept rolling with it because, you're already in there. So you may as well keep it going. And then a good game. It was actually a game I did with you, Dex. It was I don't remember the team's names, but it's from the hype video as well, where Ruby gets that 5K on Junkertown. It's that game because the two teams were like the exact same level, and they were both like in the middle of the pack for open tier. And it was a game that was genuinely close. I rarely ever get games that are genuinely close. So it really stuck out to me for that reason. Like, either team could have won it, and they were just trading like huge ultimates back and forth every single fight. And it was like, I think the winner made playoffs and the loser didn't. So it was really good for that reason as well. Because normally what happens is, even when you get to grand finals, I don't know what it is with Overwatch and grand finals, but they never seem to like to have good series in the grand finals. I don't know what it is. There's always a team that just steamrolls the other one for grand finals. It's like the losers finals or the winners final. That's where you get the good series at. For some reason, when you get to the grand finals, one team has just surpassed the rest of them. Like, I don't know. It happens in like OWCS and Overwatch League as well. That's why I'll say till the end of my days that the Dallas Fuel and San Francisco Shock is the best series that happened for the entirety of the Overwatch League. It was a 7-map grand finals. It was proper trying to backpack Mikey on Winston, and it was fantastic to watch.
That would be funny. Off topic. Hey, NRG, come back. Let's have the NRG Shock go up against the Dallas Fuel. Let's do that. Let's bring that back. Come on.
We need it.
Yeah, but this time,
what the fuck?
Instead of Mikey playing, let's put Mikey in a cage suspended above a shark pit for being a fucking Elo terrorist.
This is accurate, honestly.
Does Mikey even still
Have to
play
agree
the
with
game?
you.
I hope
Probably
for the love of God not.
I'm gonna do some research.
I'm
really
pretty sure
quick.
he's one of the players that got outed for talking to children. So you know what?
Yeah,
good
I
And
riddance.
we
was like,
stopped there. We stopped that there. Okay.
Well, it
It's-
says inactive as of March last year. So there you go.
Good.
I was gonna say, I thought that's why you were saying he needed to be in a cage, because I'm pretty sure that you're right on that.
Well, yeah, no, for multiple reasons, elo terrorism, the other stuff that, yeah, no, Mikey
The
just
other stuff is wild.
listen, Dex, listen. I can say choice words. We can make this 10 times worse.
No, I'm just-
But Dex, I think, would rather that we just keep it pushing.
Yeah, we're at that we're at that point in the podcast where I really don't want to scrub through to figure out, okay, I have to cut out this 30 seconds here.
Look. All I'm
Because-
saying is Mikey said something he shouldn't have said. That's it. We can leave it at that very easily. Bro said something he should have never said. He said it many times, like an idiot.
Hang on, let me go find the Aspire fucking GIF I have.
Oh my god.
Zay.
It's a banger GIF. Hang on.
I believe you, honestly. Your gifts are always bangers.
Okay, but to be well, actually, you know what? Never mind. I'll say that after somebody else speak.
Well, I mean, and it's like, going back to why I remember that series so well. It's because even when I get 5-map series, it's usually teams blowing each other out every single map. Like that's the annoying thing about having a 5-map series too. It's like, yeah, these teams are close, but like this is like the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2016. Only Game 7 was good in that series. The rest of that series was trash. It was hot trash. It was just teams blowing each other out every single game. And like, it's cool once you get to the end of it and you have that story, but when you're in the middle of experiencing it, you're just like, man, why are these teams rolling each other so hard every map?
Because one team decided not to fucking play defense, and the other one apparently had someone who decided that shots are going to be 100% accurate, no matter what. I'll say, one thing I'll say, there are some games of that 2016 NBA Finals I've never watched. And the reason is my dad and my brother, huge Cavs fans. The one game they won before they won the final 3 games, I didn't watch. So I was forced to be nowhere near a TV during those last 3 games.
Oh my god.
All right. I think it's for about that time. Hunter.
Yeah. It's time for that question. Let's go. ShadowFang. If that is your real name. So, you know what? We all have names. That's the question.
We all have names.
Oh, we all have names.
just the
Some
end
of
of the
them are
segment.
real. Some of them are fake. That's crazy, Mega. But basically, what I'm alluding to here is that we all have gamer tags. Basically, we sometimes we have one that we've stuck to our entire lives. Sometimes we've changed it around. But I imagine at this point, Shadow, I imagine you have no interest in probably changing up the name. You've been at it for so long. But why did you choose the name ShadowFang?
It's actually nothing crazy, honestly. I just booted up my PlayStation 3 to play Resistance 2, and I had to make a name. So I was just like, okay, I like Shadow the Hedgehog. Maybe he could be. And then I wanted to play Resistance. They were like aliens. I thought of an alien biting somebody. So I was like that. And then I couldn't put just that because it was already taken. So then I just put the number 2 behind it, and that wasn't taken. So then there it was, and I was 12, so I was like, yeah, this is awesome. And so I just kept it like that, and I'm 30 now. So that's just what my username has been for 18 years. That's just what it is now.
I don't blame you. So something is it's just simple as that. Like, and there's no reason to ever have to really get away from it. You're just so used to it. I love that.
Yeah, people, and the funny thing is too, before I had a mic, people would have an impression of what I was gonna sound like, and then I put my mic on, and they were like, "That is not the voice I expected. I am very intimidated by how deep that voice is. Actually, I am gonna stop talking trash to you now." So that would always be fun too.
I think that's always a fun thing about online gaming, is because you look at someone's name and you automatically have you just immediately say, okay, I know what this person sounds like. And then more times now, it's like, oh, I didn't expect you to sound like that. Not in a bad way, most times.
Yeah.
But it's like, I did not expect that name to have that voice.
Yeah.
Shout out to Echo's Discord profile that talks about her being a 400-pound man named Dave.
True.
I could be a 400-pound man named Dave. Who's to know?
You never know. You don't know.
Very true.
You'll never know.
Am I real? Fuck if I know.
Probably not. I've never seen you before, so like, I don't know.
That's a figment of the imagination after all this time. I don't know what I'd do.
If anything, you're the figment of our imagination, Mega. If anything.
Oh my God.
No, if anything, Mega might be the most real out of all of us.
Nah, 100%. Like, I've built up an identity that could vanish overnight, and just everybody would question if I actually existed. It'd be fucking hilarious.
That's the long play.
It's a long
making the
play.
long play.
Making
Yeah,
the long game
yeah.
here.
It's like it's the long joke, right? You're just gonna drop
I mean,
out eventually.
Yeah. I
Well-
mean,
Go ahead,
it's a
Hunter.
strategy. No, I'm saying it's a strategy. It's a strategy of all time. If people like genuinely had never seen you like on cam before, you legit could just pull a switcheroo, switch names, and no one would ever know. No one would ever find out.
We
Probably.
actually,
The reason that I find it funny is this is actually a bit that I am doing, where when I originally started content creation back in 2015, I purposely made my YouTube channel on April 1st. That way, if I ever did anything, I could just say it was a long joke and call it a day and just leave. But, like, this is a long con I literally already have in place.
This is perfect.
we actually had a guy when I joined Team Shiva initially, that was basically doing a long con with us. And I wonder if Headrammer remembers him at this point because he was really irritating, I believe. I think he got banned a few times in CGL. But he showed up with this account called Knowledge, and then he joined with his other actual account named Bamboo U. And then he talked to his fake account like in our server to make it seem like that it was real. So they would like have conversations back and forth to look like they were two separate people, so that he could try and smurf on our lower team because, but then when people talk to him and they hear this incredibly British accent and nobody else in the server has this accent, it becomes very obvious very quickly what's occurring. And so I found it hilarious though. I was like, this dude really showed up and talked to himself with two accounts. That's wild to me. It's like you showed up with a burner and just talked to it to make us believe you were an actual person.
Smurfing is cringe, but that's actually kind of fucking like based to completely make a false persona. That part is based.
Yeah, it was crazy, and I still like I can hear his calls in my head all the time. He'd be like, "He's literally one, shoot him. He is literally one." Like he would say that so often. It would be hilarious.
The British and adding U's to every word for some fucking reason. You hear it when they talk.
When they talk, fucking jeez Louise. Now we hear like there are different species of human.
Oh my God.
Why am I the bad guy here?
Because you're treating British people like they're a different species. You just want to keep up.
Okay, Mega, your question.
Okay. By the way, I think we need to get a graphic for Hunter because I feel bad that I have a graphic and he doesn't. I don't know what the graphic would be, but someone work on that. Anyway,
where is
it? Can't find the graphic, so I just look crazy. Heater. Anyway.
Crazy.
So yeah, crazy. I was crazy once they locked me in a room. Anywho, Shadow, listen, as you know, I am the eternal hater. I exist to hate. So I want you to think back through all the series you casted, and from a prod standpoint, or just thinking back, I want you to think of a time or someone or something really grinded your gears and pissed you off. And like this could be as petty as you want. It could be a real gripe, whatever you want to go for. Just what is something that has grinded your gears?
I usually tend to make a joke out of this, but I am such a perfectionist that it does kind of irritate me a little bit, even if I just laugh it off. Uh, Anytime there's 3 DPSs and 2 supports on my screen when I look at the roster, and it's not like it's like I just be the tank, just be the tank there, the tank, the 2 DPS, the 2 support, right? It's a very simple thing, but I am such a perfectionist in that way that it does tend to irritate me. Or whenever somebody does not use an ultimate that they were clearly supposed to use in this moment, this happens in every series. Somebody has sound barrier and they just hold it. God only knows what they're holding it for. If I was being rude, I would say they're holding it for Overwatch 3. They're holding it for the 4v4 that is eventually coming. But it's the most irritating thing in the world to me when people do not follow the process. There is a process that you must follow. There is a correct way to run a team fight in Overwatch, and when you do not do that, it makes me rage beyond all belief. So that would be my thing. It's just not ulting properly or somebody going on just the dumbest flank of all time. I saw it happen so many times in a game I was casting a week or two ago. Somebody was just on Cassidy, completely behind the enemy team on Lijiang Tower, and they just kept turning around and killing the Cassidy. And I was just like, you're literally losing your team this game over and over again by doing exactly what you're trying to do. You thinking you're gonna pop back there and just go 1, 2, 3, 4 and just immediately obliterate people. That's not how it works. You can't just do that. So that's the types of things that really irritates me.
I mean, that's actually a good one. That is actually it's like there's an ego part to it as well with everything, where it's like you really think you're gonna be able to do that. Like it happened I wouldn't say necessarily something like that happened, but they're kind of in the same theme in the Plat grand finals yesterday, where the team that was losing, they had a Cassidy player who had the mythic weapon, and anytime we would go to their POV, they would shoot whether they hit or miss. It's just they would hit the flourish and start spinning the guns. Like, buddy, your team's losing. The fuck? Why? I know it looks cool, but this don't see us go knife it out here, man. You don't need to be spinning the shit.
Well, it could be a tick too because I'm like the worst. If I ever happen to be on a team again, you'll see me do it. I constantly spam hello. Like the entire time while I'm doing anything, I'm spamming hello. It's just a tick at this point. I'm just so used to pressing that button in tune with everything that I'm doing. It could potentially be something like that as well, but it is kind of ridiculous to see them like potentially throw away fights because they're doing it. But I believe what it was called was I took a test on what kind of video game rager I am, and it said I'm a paladin rager. So I get really mad when people don't make the play that they're supposed to make. Like that's the only thing that makes me mad. If 2 teams are doing the correct thing and one team is just playing better than the other, I don't get mad. I don't get mad. It's when people start doing really stupid shit that I get mad. That's when you'll see me hop on the mic in my rank games and be like, "Hey, why the fuck are we just doing shit? Play the game. Stop doing shit. Play the game." So that's where my mental tends to go.
Mega.
I mean, based on the track record of my suspended accounts, I mean, I think I'm pretty evident. Like, truthfully, like I definitely get myself into more trouble than I should. But like, listen, if I don't let the Moira who's going 3-9 with 2K healing know that they're dog shit, who will? Because clearly somebody else did, and that's why they're here.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you just gotta let them know.
Yeah, listen. I will talk my fair amount of shit. Normally, I'll keep it in VC, and not put it out there. I'll say very lucky that I've never been suspended in all of my time playing Overwatch. Definitely have said some things to people. To be fair, if you are playing bad, I'm gonna tell you you're playing bad. Not 9 times out of 10, Dex, because I play with you a lot as of late. If someone is doing shit, I actively tell you, man, this person fucking sucks right now.
Yeah,
they are terrible.
I've had to be your voice of reason to say, don't fucking type anything. Like, it's quick play. Like, I'm not even taking them seriously most of the time.
Oh god. But I mean, to be fair, yeah. At the end of the day, I am just trying to have fun with the game, but I don't know. Mega's got a point. I hate to say, listen, if someone's just doing really, really terribly bad, it's one thing if someone's just doing bad, but it's another one if someone is purposely being shit. That's a whole different thing.
Listen, like, their parents didn't let them know they were a failure at some point in life, so I have to course correct for them, right? Like, clearly I have to be the person who lets them know, like, hey, listen, buddy, you got to get the fuck off Overwatch, because clearly you've wasted time. You put $2,000 into a PC just to fucking go 1-11. Like, get the fuck off the game.
I mean, true, honestly.
God, I cannot wait to get so much shit for some of the opinions if I ever, like, fuck it. If this ever, like, goes anywhere.
If this podcast ever somehow hits that moment where it's like, holy shit, we're getting like 1,000 views a week, like, there's some shit we've talked about where it's like, what the fuck did they just say?
Listen, the second it hits a certain view threshold, you're just gonna see, like, I'm gonna get, like, fucking replaced. Like, not even, like, casually. I'm just gonna, like, be disappeared. It's gonna be like the no war embossing say shit.
Oh
That's
my
just
god.
gonna be like, there never was a Megalass. What do you want about?
What are you talking about?
VTuber? What do you mean? I've never casted with a VTuber.
What is a VTuber?
Apparently it's a peanut. And a lot of
Yeah,
people
I was gonna make that joke.
I don't know enough about what's going on, so I'm just gonna.
You're not in
I'll
the
fill you.
VTuber trauma right now.
I'll fill you in on the knowledge after the episode.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But speaking of that, is there anything else that you guys want to ask our guest here this week?
No, I'm kind of chilling.
Hunter?
I think I've gotten what I've wanted to know out of today.
Shadow, is there anything you want to ask us?
Man, I gotta be honest. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good though. I've enjoyed the back and forth banter, trying to reminisce some on my various games I've casted through CGL and whatnot.
Well, I think that's a good point. That's as good as a point as any to wrap up this week's episode. Again, thank you, Shadow, so much for coming out. Hunter, Mega, thank you as well, and thank you everyone who's either watching or listening to this. Make sure you follow us on Spotify, because I got yelled at this week for finally remembering that's what it's fucking called, apparently. And subscribe to us on YouTube as well if you want to see the video form of this podcast. Again, Shadow, thank you so much for coming on, being the guest. Make sure y'all tune in next week for another great episode of For the Love of Prod. And as always, no idea who the guest will be. You'll know when I know. See y'all next week.